All right, Coach, second game of the two-game road trip on its way. First off, how's it going to feel for your team, obviously, to just get get far away as possible, essentially, since this is the furthest trip of the season, down to beautiful St. Augustine for what should be a decent road trip in general.
Yeah, it's always a good trip. Flagler, St. Augustine's a really nice town, and it's pretty cool to we practice and let our kids wander around a little bit, and don't see a lot of the town, but we get to see a little bit of it. It's a really beautiful place.
In terms of the game at hand, Flagler, one of the better teams in the Peach Belt Conference in rebounding, and your team in that metric as well is in the top half. How do you feel these two teams are going to clash when it comes to trying to
have
hold
to
the ball?
compete well on the boards. I think Flagler's a kind of a cool story in that they really struggled last year record-wise, but they were a very competitive team, lost a lot of close games, and they've got that whole nucleus back, and they added some junior college kids that are into the mix, and with that experience and some added talent, they're 10-2 in the league. I think they're second in the league. The adding of the 6'5" kid, Adabi, really makes a difference inside in terms of her rebounding and also her shot blocking. I think she's blocked close to 70 shots this year, averaging about 13 rebounds a game. So she's given a big boost on the boards. 33 has always been a good hard-nosed rebounder. And then they've got a lot of smaller guards that rebound the ball well. So we're going to have to do a good job and compete on the glass.
Well, obviously keying in on some of the Flagler ladies, how do you feel about your team in general? I want to highlight Nyla Allen because she's been perhaps the steadiest hand throughout the season for your team. How do you feel about just her consistent performance across her senior
She's been
campaign?
solid. I didn't think she played quite as well last night. Had struggled a little bit finishing around the basket, but really is attacking very well. And I think making some good decisions where when to shoot it, when to dish it, those type of things. So she's been really consistent for us. She's been the one kid, particularly on the offensive end, that's been extremely consistent for us throughout the year.
What do you think about Flagler's three-point game as well? They're in the bottom half of the Peach Belt Conference in terms of overall makes per game and just three-point percentage. Is this going to be a game that you feel, with some of the women you mentioned that are strong off the glass, a game that's going to be decided in the paint?
They've always made shots against us. I've always felt like the matchups were tough on the perimeter. Alford, Flynn, Roberts could shoot it. Flynn's more used to shoot it, but shoot it and also drive it, particularly I think it's Alford and Roberts, those two kids, 1 and 3. They've been very difficult matchups for us because they made their fair share of threes, and then they can put it on the floor and go by you. We've struggled the last two games just containing the three-point shot. Now, part of that's people's made threes, contested threes. Part of that's been breakdowns in our defense. But that's an area I think we've got to protect the arc because we got outscored 18 by Columbus, I think, from the three-point line. We got outscored 15 last night from the three-point line. So, that's a huge difference and hard to make up in terms of three-point scoring. So we've got to do a good job both defending arc, defending dribble penetration, and defending their post game.
All right, Coach. Well, here's to some strong three-point defense on Saturday. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Coach. Obviously, a lot of questions coming out of the upset loss the other night to Francis Marion. What's the overall message in the locker room right now heading into this next road game against Flagler?
Well, I think, every night in the Peach Belt, you got to be ready to go. And Francis played a great game. They were prepared, and they deserve to win the game. If we're not ready and we're not alert defensively and taking care of the ball, they just really outplayed us and deserve to win the game. Hopefully we can learn from some of the mistakes we made, breaks down defensively. Got to get a little more production out of our front line guys in terms of rebounding and scoring from some positions. But I think the guys are resilient, and hopefully we'll bounce back here and play better on Saturday.
Something your team has done very well this season so far is the ability to go the full 40 minutes. Flagler, on paper, they do it at a similar clip. Are you expecting a bit of a slugfest in this coming game?
Well, they're a very talented team. They're up there in a lot of the defensive categories, with blocks and field goal percentage. They're a very long and athletic team. Really good man-to-man defensive team. We've got a lot of guys that can score as well, so it'll be a great challenge.
running the man defense, how do you feel that's going to help out with your team's strength and size down low, at the very least, to try and make plays available at the underneath the basket?
Well, hopefully we'll attack. Our big guys sometimes see double teams, so they got to be strong with the ball and understand when those double teams come, you got to make good decisions and try to find the open man. And we'll have our hands full because Flagler's very active on defense and gets her hands on a lot of balls, steals, blocks. So we'll have to be very good with our execution.
And Coach, obviously, even with the loss to Francis Marion, your team still sitting at the top of the Peach Belt Conference. How important is this game going to be as a bounce back in conference play?
Well, they're all big. Anytime you have an opportunity to go on the road and get a win, it's a great opportunity. They're difficult to come by. We've been pretty good on the road for the most part, so hopefully we'll go down there and play our game and see what happens.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you, Matt.